All right, there's the house. We're out very, very close to the Mule Shoe Conservation Area, which is just a little bit to the south. That way. Driveway comes in right here with the county road a couple hundred feet off in the distance. This has frontage on the county road along its entire west side, basically. Excuse me. You'll see where the driveway comes in, essentially level, stays that way right up until the house. It starts to slope down to a little bit as you come to the house, but it's really not until past the house that it starts to slope a little more. You do have a large area here that's been dug out, and we can only assume this was to do a nice shop or garage that just never got constructed, because someone has obviously excuse me, can't talk here, has obviously excavated down 4 or 5 feet here on the deeper side, and it looks like maybe, I don't know, about 40 by 60, I would guess. It works really well for parking. We did pull them in once in park, and it was handy for that, but you can also park right there. But yeah, if you're going to do a big shop or something, someone has spent quite a bit of money excavating and leveling that out. Here's something cool. Let's just walk up there. We found some pretty nice grapevines around the yard. So if you ever wanted to own your own vineyard, this might be a pretty good start. They're going to need some maintenance, some maintenance, I assume, but I mean, look at that. Early spring and we've got buds coming out. It's nice and thick. It's some kind of label on it. Grape Concord. Oh, okay. There you go. So that's a nice couple of vines there. And then there's also kind of a little arbor set up back there. If you see those 2 treated posts, I'll zoom in a bit. 2 treated posts right in the center of the video. Those have got a wire between them, and there's grapevines on that as well. And I feel like there's one other place, maybe behind the house. But let's check out the inside of the house, and then we'll do a quick walk around the outside. The house, if you haven't already noticed, is just in really, really bad shape. From a couple hundred feet away, it looks fine because it does have vinyl siding. It does have what appears to be a newer metal roof. It's not new by any means, but it's newer than the house that someone spent some money on at some point. But the house itself, and we walked through it about 10 minutes ago. We didn't go through it with a fine-tooth comb, but we just went through to make sure some of the doors were unlocked so we could get in. It's really, really, really bad. Maybe it could be fixed. Just depends on how handy you are and how much time you want to put into it. Or it could be good for maybe a hunting cabin, or maybe just for storage while you build your actual home out here. On the plus side, we've got power right there. It's got a meter in place. I don't think the meter is turned on, but there is a meter in place. Phone box is on the house. I believe they have it plumbed for propane. I don't see a tank. You'd have to either lease or buy a tank, I imagine. And then there is a drilled well, which is inside the house. Here's the propane line right here, actually. So they had the tank right front center of the house, which was convenient for the person filling the tank, I'm sure. I think I'd probably move that behind or off to the side. So it's got a second level. On the main floor, we're going to see several rooms. We're going to see a bathroom and a kitchen area. And then there's like a pull-down attic stairway that leads up to the second floor. And up there we have a bedroom, like a half or a quarter bath. It's just a small sink and a toilet. And then I guess like a hallway area. Not quite another bed. There's not quite 2 bedrooms up there. There's one for sure. And then there's kind of an open area by the stairs. And let's go check this out. This would have been the laundry room. You can see the vent for the dryer. Here's the power coming into the house, I believe. Oh, I don't have my flashlight. Okay. Let's run back to the truck. We'll get the flashlight. We might need that depending on what we look at. As a bonus, you do have this little shed over here. Oh, where'd the flashlight go? You've got this little shed over here, and it's interesting because it looks worthless if you look at the side. I mean, the uncovered OSB, it's a shock that there's any still in place on there. Usually that's gone within a couple of years, and that might be as long as it's been on there. I don't know. But the roof line looks pretty good. And it's on a nice concrete slab as well. So that's probably why, it's pretty straight. This might be someplace where you spend 2 or 3 days, make this livable while you fix up the real house. Oh yeah, they did a pretty good job, whoever built this, other than not covering the OSB on the side, or maybe they did and it just, the house wrap came off. But they've got a center wall, which is why all those beams, all those rafters look great because they're resting on that good solid center wall. And then we've got a concrete slab. So that actually could really be something useful, despite how awful it looks right now. There's the flashlight. Okay. I brought a pair of gloves, but can't really use the camera too well with the gloves, so we'll leave those in the truck. Before we go in, here's the back of that shed. And we'll get another picture, I'm sure, of the electric box when we walk around the outside. I always try to zoom in if they have a box like this one happens to have. It's pretty rare that they have a meter installed. But that'll give you the numbers if you decide to call the power company and get things moving. This would be the pole number, 183615. Okay, let's go inside and have a look. So we're coming in probably into the laundry room. Yeah, there's some washer dryer hookups, power, and then a drain. If we go right, we'd be going into the kitchen. We're going to go around though. This would have been probably a downstairs bedroom. No closet, but you've got some closet rods over there. Hallway to the right here. This would be the downstairs bathroom. And it's going to have a toilet, going to have a shower, and a sink. And this was maybe a closet, I'm not sure. This is kitchen. This was probably a dining area then. Little AC unit right there. We have no idea if anything at all works in this house, so just plan on nothing working. Propane wall furnace. Kitchen area is rough. There's a utility area, that's water heater. There's the well itself right there, drilled well. It's super nice when you can have it inside the house. It's rarely the case actually, but here it is. You've got the well, you've got the pressure tank. Looks like some kind of softener system. I'm not sure about that. There's the power box right there. Let's take a quick look at that power box. It's a newer power box. It's nice to see. Oh yeah. 100 amp service. Fuses are somewhat labeled. Okay. That's quite a bit newer than what would have come with the house, I'm sure. So this is the pull down stairway. This was up when we got here about half an hour ago, and it's just an attic stairway, so you just pull it down with that string right there, and then the stairs fold down. And we're not going to do a whole tour of the upstairs. We'll poke our heads up here and show you. There's quite a few empty boxes. So this is the area that's not a bedroom, but it's adjacent to these stairs. And then as I get turned around here, that's like an open area. Watch out for that. Probably needs to be it was sheetrocked at some point. That hallway right there on the left is the upstairs bathroom, and then the upstairs bedroom. See if I can reach over that way. It's got a window in there, but the window's covered up with metal. It looks like the glass is broken. And the floors throughout this place are in rough shape. I mean, walking upstairs, I don't know. It just needs to be all redone. We don't know what kind of foundation it has. It's some type of crawl space. Maybe concrete block, maybe it's stone. We're not sure about that. This is one of our favorite parts right here. This is, I guess, the living room. And you've got these huge, beautiful windows here. So they really spent some time and money. This is probably an addition that was done later, because you've got these newer single hung vinyl windows with the grid inside the glass. And it's only somewhat recently that they came up with that. So that makes us think this is probably an addition. And then they do have these huge windows. They also have this large porch over here. So the porch is great. I mean, that's pretty cool to have a covered porch like that. We'll go out there in a minute. If you didn't like the covered porch or the roof part and wanted a deck, if you were to remove that, it would let so much more light through these windows. But that may not be what you want. I mean, even as it is, not letting the direct sunlight come through those windows keeps it a little cooler. Satellite dish there. So this door we did not use. They've got it, like maybe they had a pet door and they kind of closed it off, and then the outside has a storm door which was shut pretty tightly, so we just left that. We came in through that other door that we walked in. It's kind of neat. Got some ceiling fans in here. I mean, you're going to see just bad spots throughout the house. We're certainly not trying to hide everything, but I think it would take all day to show you all the bad spots. Here's a really bad one. Oh, okay. So in that other electric box that we saw, that newer one, it did reference itself as being box number 1. So I'm guessing this then is box number 2. This is an older box. Electric box number 2, there we go. That's funny, the older box is in the newer part of the home. Newer box is in the older part of the home. But even as electric boxes go, I mean, this does have breakers. This is not the screw type fuses. We'll have to double check to be certain, but I believe that Hickory County, where we're located here, doesn't have any type of rural zoning. So you're not going to have to pull a bunch of permits or any permits to work on the house, which is really nice. No permits, no inspections. As we go through here, I'm noticing it looks like someone was prepping up to do a drop ceiling through the hallway in the bathroom there. They've got some, see that metal track, and then those kind of 2x2s. They're gonna do a drop ceiling there maybe. That would have been pretty nice. So that's a quick look at the inside. I'm gonna sneeze really quickly and then we'll take a look at the outside. excuse me. All right, on to the outside. We checked the front yard out a little bit. That's some kind of metal building over there. I'm not sure where exactly the property line is. I've got MapRat running on the phone, but the phone is what I'm using to take videos, and it can only do the one thing at a time, so I'm not sure exactly where the boundaries are. But there's that metal roof. Let's go ahead and walk around. We'll start with this way. I know we already looked at the power meter, but in case we split this video into two to make it smaller, I'll take another quick look at the power meter, get the number off that. Okay, Southwest Electric Co-op. And that's got a number there. In addition to that, we'll get the number for the actual pole, the wooden pole. 183615. And then we'll probably have the address in the listing page for this place. So with any of those, it's likely they can get the power hooked up for you. Okay, so here is the, I guess, the north side of the house. Vinyl siding, wooden soffit. Siding's dirty, but it's actually in pretty good shape, I should say. And then this looks like some kind of plywood down here. Different fence posts and whatnot. They probably at some point had animals back here. Okay, the back part of the house is definitely the roughest, I guess, in our minds anyway. So that's going to be that exposed OSB. And it really doesn't take long for that stuff to start to disintegrate, and you can see that's been happening here. That's where I was mentioning that the upstairs window had a piece of metal over it. That's what that is. There's that little air conditioner I think we saw inside. Oh, here's an old Nintendo game. What is that? Is that Zelda? I cannot tell. Oh well. There's a couple different satellite dishes. So if this were a place that you wanted to salvage or fix up or even just stop it from getting any worse, this back part is likely where you'd want to think about starting. There's a few pieces that need to be replaced for sure, but man, it just wouldn't take long to put some house wrap over this, and that would stop the bleeding, so to speak. And then you could side it. I mean, you could replace the whole works, all the OSB if you wanted to. So this part obviously has a poured concrete crawl space or stem wall. We think that's the newer part. That's where we were with all the big windows. Looking at the older part, it's hard to say. It's all covered up with wood. So that could be poured concrete stem wall. It could be post and pier. It could, I mean, just no telling until you really look at it and see, get under there and see, I guess. And we've got some cans and junk around here. And here's that big porch area. And it is a massive porch. I mean, that's a place to hang out and do a little grilling for sure. We'll come back to that. I wanted to check out this part of the yard. I'm not sure what that is. And like I said before, I'm not sure where the south line is gonna fall. MapRat would be helpful by helping give you an approximate location. If you wanted to get it surveyed, you could certainly do that. I'm sure there are different surveyors in the area who could get a quote for you Now here's one of those other grapevines we were talking about. Actually, it's two separate grapevines. There's one there. That's definitely got buds on it. There's one over here. That's got a couple buds too. So you've got actual grapevines on the property, which is really cool. Really beautiful yard. We're near that county road, but it's very peaceful. It's an extremely low traffic county road. In case you can't tell, there hasn't been a single car that's come by the whole time we've been out here. I'm gonna go back here and see if we can get a little better view of that porch and the roof. There we go. One of the guys noticed this close corner of the porch roof, closest to us, the metal is bent up, like maybe someone was pulling through with a truck that was a little too tall. I don't think it affects anything on that corner, but it is there. It really could be a cute little house. It's kind of a cute little house right now. It just needs a ton of work. The yard is great. The location is phenomenal. We're not that far from Camdenton at the Lake of the Ozarks. We're literally about a minute from the Mule Shoe Conservation Area and the Little Niangua River, which is really nice for fishing, canoeing, kayaking, floating, all that good stuff. And this yard is beautiful. I mean, we are looking into the sun before the leaves are on the trees, so I'm sure this video looks a little bit horrific, but this is a gorgeous yard. I'm excited to see the leaves come out and really see this place come alive. There's some sycamore trees there. I noticed a huge sycamore tree right behind the house, actually. Oh yeah, you can see that. Look at that sycamore. So we love sycamore trees because when you see a sycamore, it generally means you have a fairly good water source, because sycamore trees, their roots like to go down until they hit some type of water source. So we most often see them on the banks of creeks or rivers, or on the dams around large ponds. But if you look here, these two little ones, they're young sycamores. And then that bright white one right there is a big, beautiful sycamore tree. And as you get higher on the trunks, they become bright white because their outer layer of bark basically peels off. So if we were to do a drone video, and we'll try to do that, that bright white sycamore will look beautiful from the sky. Amazing property. And again, the house, I mean, we really have not attributed any value to the house. The value's in the land. The value's in the fact that you've already got electric on site. Phone line probably. I mean, there was a phone box on the side of the house, so I assume that's on site. Beautiful, beautiful building site. I'm sure there's a reason someone chose this site 100 years ago, or whenever the original part of the house was built. The level area, a lot of things factor into it, but it's a gorgeous property. The drilled well, obviously we haven't had anything tested, but that drilled well inside the house, that's pretty cool. Or it can be. You can certainly make things easier for you. All right, we'll cut it off there, and we'll see if we can't maybe do a drone video here. But that's the Mule Shoe property, extremely close to the Mule Shoe Conservation Area with the little house or cabin.